said to Moses, "Pay close attention to this. I will make you seem like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. Tell Aaron everything I command you, and Aaron must command Pharaoh to let the people of Israel leave his country. But I will make Pharaoh's heart stubborn, so I can multiply my miraculous signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. Even then Pharaoh will refuse to listen to you. So I will bring down my fist on Egypt. Then I will rescue my forces, my people, the Israelites, from the land of Egypt with great acts of judgment. When I raise my powerful hand and bring out the Israelites, the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded them. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 when they made their demands to Pharaoh. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Pharaoh will demand, 'Show me a miracle.' When he does this, say to Aaron, 'Take your staff and throw it down in front of Pharaoh, and it will become a serpent.'" So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did what the Lord had commanded them. Aaron threw down his staff before Pharaoh and his officials, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh called in his own wise men and sorcerers, and these Egyptian magicians did the same thing with their magic. They threw down their staffs, which also became serpents. But then Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Pharaoh's heart, however, remained hard. He still refused to listen, just as the Lord had predicted. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pharaoh's heart is stubborn, and he still refuses to let the people go. So go to Pharaoh in the morning as he goes down to the river. Stand on the bank of the Nile and meet him there. Be sure to take along the staff that turned into a snake. Then announce to him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to tell you, let my people go so they can worship me in the wilderness. Until now, you have refused to listen to him. So this is what the Lord says, I will show you that I am the Lord. Look, I will strike the water of the Nile with this staff in my hand, and the river will turn to blood. The fish in it will die, and the river will stink. The Egyptians will not be able to drink any water from the Nile." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, take your staff and raise your hand over the waters of Egypt, all its rivers, canals, ponds, and all the reservoirs. Turn all the water to blood. Everywhere in Egypt the water will turn to blood, even the water stored in wooden bowls and stone pots." So Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded them. As Pharaoh and all of his officials watched, Aaron raised his staff and struck the water of the Nile. Suddenly, the whole river turned to blood. The fish in the river died, and the water became so foul that the Egyptians couldn't drink it. There was blood everywhere throughout the land of Egypt. But again the magicians of Egypt used their magic, and they too turned water into blood. So Pharaoh's heart remained hard. He refused to listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had predicted. Pharaoh returned to his palace and put the whole thing out of his mind. Then all the Egyptians dug along the riverbank to find drinking water, for they couldn't drink the water from the Nile. 7 days passed from the time the Lord struck the Nile.
So today we're diving into Exodus 7. Things are heating up in Egypt. This is where the signs and wonders begin.
Yeah, and it kicks off with something wild. God tells Moses he'll be like God to Pharaoh, and Aaron will be his prophet.
That's already a big deal. It's like God is setting up a courtroom drama. Moses is the judge, Aaron is the spokesman, and Pharaoh, well, he's about to be on trial.
Exactly. And notice how God says from the start, "I'll harden Pharaoh's heart." That's a major theme. This won't be an easy battle.
Right? And it raises the question, why would God intentionally harden Pharaoh's heart?
Maybe to make his power more visible? Like to show the Egyptians and the Israelites that this isn't just politics, it's divine intervention.
That's what verse 5 hints at. The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. So it's not just about freeing Israel, it's about revealing who God is.
Then the first sign, the staff becomes a serpent. Aaron throws it down and bam, it turns into a snake.
But then Pharaoh's magicians do the same thing. That part always gets me. Like, how were they able to pull that off?
It's eerie. Either they had legit demonic powers, or it was really good sleight of hand. Either way, it shows Pharaoh had a reason to be skeptical, at least at first.
But then Aaron's serpent eats theirs. That's such a powerful image, like a divine mic drop.
Totally. One staff swallowing the others, it's a clear sign of superiority. But Pharaoh, still not impressed.
His heart stays hard, just like God said. And that sets the tone for everything that follows.
Then comes the first plague. God tells Moses to meet Pharaoh at the Nile. There's this theatrical moment, staff in hand, river flowing, and boom, water turns to blood.
That had to be terrifying. The Nile was life for Egypt. Turning it to blood is like God saying, I control your source of life.
And not just the river, all water in Egypt. Even in bowls and pots. Can you imagine pouring yourself a drink and it's blood?
That's horror movie level. And the smell? Dead fish everywhere. The whole country in chaos.
Yet again, the magicians managed to do something similar. They turn water into blood too. It's like, oh, you flooded the Nile with blood? Watch us do this 1 cup.
But again, Pharaoh isn't moved. His heart stays hard. He walks back to his palace like nothing happened.
That's what shocks me most. All this death and destruction, and he just shrugs it off.
But don't you think we sometimes do that too? We see things going wrong, warnings even, and we still refuse to change.
That's such a good point. Pharaoh's heart wasn't the only one ever hardened. There's a warning in that for all of us.
For sure. And the people suffer because of his stubbornness. The Egyptians are digging around the Nile just to find clean water. Desperate.
It's tragic. You can see how pride at the top leads to suffering at the bottom.
And remember, this is just the first plague. There are 9 more coming. But already, the pattern is set. Sign, rejection, suffering.
And through it all, God is revealing who he is. Not just to Pharaoh, but to everyone watching, then and now.
I think that's a good place to pause. There's so much to reflect on here.
Yeah, like, what does it take for us to pay attention to God's signs?
Or how do we react when things don't go our way? Do we harden our hearts or stay open?
And what kind of power do we recognize? Is it the flashy, magical kind, or the one that quietly swallows up everything else?
Great questions. Thanks for hanging with us today as we explored Exodus 7. Don't forget, next time, the plagues continue.
And so does the confrontation. Until then, keep your heart soft and your eyes open.
Podcast dialogue ends.